Thank you, thank you, thank you. Of course, you know the first thing I looked at on that plaque was something is, I wouldn't say that it's missing, but it's not there. Joe Greene, that's right, it's not mean. This is indeed an honor for me to be here. Coach Spradlin, Jerry, Mr. Adams, and my classmate and former teammate, Reverend Robertson. Yeah, we traveled a lot of paths together. Actually, he was probably a better football player, Reverend Robertson. He played center and I played guard, and he did a lot of things in the midst of battle that we had to make some adjustments. He talked about, well, let's block this guy that way and let's do this, and he was always giving me instructions. Now what happened is I ate more than him and I got a little bigger. I want to thank my high school coaches, Coach Elliott and Coach Moore, who had a tremendous impact on me as well as my teammates. The teachers, Mr. Powell in particular, he was a strong influence on a lot of the young men there at the school. He guided us in the proper direction. I was able to play football at Dunbar High because I played on the parks and the playgrounds, and I wasn't always the first one to be chosen to play. But when I did play, I didn't want to be the last one chosen the next time, so that competitive juices came out that I want to show these guys I can play. And I think through that kind of attitude, I was able to play high school football. And through that, I was able to get a scholarship. I was able to get a scholarship to North Texas. And with that scholarship, I played offensive line and played a little bit of linebacker. And as coach will tell you, if you're 250 pounds and kind of slow, you can't play linebacker. So they moved me. They moved me down and put my hand on the ground, and a whole new world opened up for me. One of the guys that I used to watch and emulate, I used to watch the Dallas Cowboys. That's the team I really wanted to go to. Bob Lilly was a defensive tackle, number 74 for the Dallas Cowboys. They called him Mr. Cowboy at the time, and for very good reasons. He's a Hall of Famer. And through watching him, I learned how to attack the line of scrimmage, which was a big benefit to me, big benefit. Through my playing at North Texas, that propelled me to be drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's well noted that I did not want to go to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh at that time, when I was drafted, they had never won anything, nothing. Matter of fact, my first year there, we won only one ball game, the first one, and we lost 13 in a row. And when I left North Texas, I kind of had this name, Mean. But it was kind of a mistake because our colors at North Texas were green, and they called us then the Mean Green. And when I found out that I couldn't shake the name Mean Joe, because I played in a ball game at Yankee Stadium, and we were playing the Giants, and I was chasing this little quarterback called Fran Tarkenton. And it was a hot day there in New York. It was the second week of the season in September, and he'd like to talk to you, And he kept saying, "You missed." I get close. "You missed. You missed." And I was getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And this one time I hit him I got to him, I hit him as hard as I could, knocked him down. He jumped up, And I said, how you like that, Francis? And he said, Joe, look where you are. And I looked around, I was 5 yards out of bounds and got kicked out of the ball game. And at that, I could never, ever shake the name mean. It stuck with me. But through this course of my journey from Temple, Texas, and high school football in North Texas, probably being drafted by Pittsburgh, which was really a very, I was the 4th player chosen that year in the draft, and I should have been happy. You know, when you drafted number 1, for me, you're thinking about money and all of that. And I didn't. I was thinking about Pittsburgh. But Pittsburgh ended up being a wonderful place to be. I encountered some of the best leaders in the National Football League, the Rooney family, old man Art and Dan and the brothers. And they hired a young coach his first year, Chuck Noll, who definitely had a positive impact on how I saw things, how I did things, how we all did things. And I was fortunate in a larger sense because in my 13 years of playing pro football, I had one head coach, Chuck. No change in ownership. 2 defensive line coaches. Everybody was intact. So what I learned my first year as a player, as a professional football player, was the same thing I had my last year. The consistency is, in my view, over these times, what I learned that's what builds championships. And that's why we play the game, to win. To win. I was so fortunate in all of this time that I grew up being a fan of football almost from the beginning. Players in the late 50s, early 60s that I didn't play against. Players in the 70s that I did play against. Players in the 80s and the 90s and the 21st century that I watched. I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of these young men that some I didn't like, especially the Green Bay Packers. And I told them, but they weren't they weren't the guys that I thought they were. But I've been fortunate enough to see these guys and meet them and talk to them, even get autographs from them. Had it not been for me playing football here at Dunbar High and playing well enough to get a scholarship, which no way I would have been able to go to school. College is expensive. I found out how expensive it was last year and the year before when I had some grandkids that were going to college. And my goodness, you guys better study because it's difficult, very difficult. But anyway, the scholarship allowed me to go to North Texas, which led to the Pittsburgh Steelers, which led me to the Hall of Fame. I would not be a member of the Hall of Fame had it not been for the group of guys that I played with in the ownership that I played for and the coach that I played for. I cannot tell you I stood alone. We were a team. And anytime you are involved in athletics, corporate enterprise, politics, it's about being a team. It is so easy to be disagreeable, so easy. Disagreeing is not an issue because through disagreeing, you come to a better resolve. Both two heads better than one. That's part of the message that you get out of being a team, that you have to agree on what course of action you're taking. And that is coming from the head coach. Jerry, it's a pleasure for me to be here representing the Hall of Fame. As you said, this plaque is for Temple. And that's so, so wonderful. So wonderful. And I'm trying to remember what our president talks about all the time. David Baker, the president and CEO of the Hall of Fame. Preserve our values and promote execution. Promote excellence, I'm sorry. And having been there and seen all the members, that's what they try to do, and that's what they do. And I think it's a great thing that the Hall of Fame visits all of the cities like this to put up a plaque to say, I was here and thank you, Temple. That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Temple. Now, one of the things when I was playing football for the Steelers, when we were going out to do battle, one of these things that we'd say was, here we go, let's go get him. That's what I'm telling you for your game Friday night. Let's go get him. Thank you.